Welcome to PreMath. In this video tutorial, we are going to find the mean, variance, and standard deviation for the following sample data set. And one thing, keep in your mind that we are dealing with the sample. So let's get started now. In our very first step, we are going to find the mean. And here is the mean formula. Mean is represented by x bar, which is equal to sum of all values divided by total number of values. So let's go ahead and calculate the mean represented by x bar equal to, let me just go ahead and add up all these numbers. 10 plus 13 plus 14 plus 16 plus 18 plus 23 plus 25 plus 29 and divided by the total number of these values. There are 8 of them, so divided by 8. Let's add up all those numbers on the top, on the numerator. That turns out to be 148 divided by 8 equals to 18.5. So thus our mean turns out to be equal to 18.5. And in our next step, we are going to calculate the sample variance. And here I have put down all these data set values nicely in this column, as you can see. And these values are represented by x. And here in the next column, second column, we're going to put down the mean value represented by x bar. And in our previous step, we already figured out which was 18.5. Let me just go ahead and fill out this column by just putting 18.5 across the board in each and every cell in this column. All right. And here in our third column, we're going to be calculating x minus x bar, the difference. That means x is this value minus x bar is this value. If we subtract this one, that is going to give us 10 minus 18.5 is going to give us negative 8.5. This is going to give us negative 5.5, and the next one is going to be negative 4.5. That is going to be negative 2.5. That is going to be negative 0.5, and this is going to be 4.5. This is 6.5, and finally this is going to be 10.5. And finally in our fourth column, we are going to take the square of these values that we figured out in our third column. So negative 8.5 square is going to give us 72.25, and the square of negative 5.5, this next one, when we do that one, that's going to give us 30.25, and likewise all the way we're going to do this one, 20.25. This is going to be 6.25. This is going to be 0.25. This is going to be 20.25. This is going to be 42.25, and finally this is going to be 110.25. And now finally we are going to add all these values up in our this fourth column. Let's add them up. So when we add them up, we represent this one by sigma of x minus x bar square. And one more thing, sigma over here means this notation is called sigma. That means sum, or sometimes we call it addition. And we add, when we add all these numbers, that turns out to be 302. And here is our final product, and we put down all these values nicely. And finally, we're going to be applying this formula for sample variance, which is called S square equal to sigma of x minus x bar square divided by n minus 1. And by the way, n represents the sample size, total number of data values. Let's go ahead and calculate this sample variance. S square equal to, in our case, sigma of x minus x bar square is, in our case, is 302. Let's go ahead and put down 302 divided by, in our case, n values are 8 and then minus 1. And now let's simplify. So this is going to be 302 divided by 7. So thus S square turns out to be, our sample variance turns out to be 43.143. So thus our sample variance turns out to be a 43.143. And in our final step, step number 3, we are going to calculate the standard deviation. And always remember that the standard deviation is equal to the square root of the sample variance. And we figured out sample variance in our previous step, which was 43.143. And one more thing, just keep in your mind that the standard deviation is also has this formula as one over here. So let's go ahead and figure out standard deviation, which is equal to the square root of our sample variance value is 43.143. Let's take a square root of this thing. That is going to be 6.57. And thus our standard deviation turns out to be a 6.57, and that is our final answer. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more exciting videos. Bye.